Hello everybody, today I'm sharing a project with you that I've just completed, and this is a project for BeebeeCraft.com. They recently sent me a lovely package full of chandelier crystals, and I've decided that I made this lovely chandelier using those beautiful crystals. I have also used some of the beautiful 4mm rhinestone trim from Beebee Craft, their tulle, and the lovely pearl and rhinestone buttons as well. And I was inspired to make this chandelier by the wonderful Miranda from Miss Liberty 25 on YouTube. She made one quite some time ago, and I've always wanted to make one. Earlier this year I was lucky enough to find one of the MDF DIY kits, and when Beebee Craft sent me these wonderful crystals, it was the perfect opportunity to put it together. And this is how it's turned out, and I absolutely love it, and Miss Molly loves it too. The tutorial I've put together is done in about 3 different ways. It starts off with still images, and then it goes to some talking, and then it moves on to fast motion video, and then ends again with talking as well. So I hope you like the tutorial, and I hope you find it helpful in any way, in some way anyway. There is one thing I would suggest that wasn't suggested on the video, and that is if you are using texture paste on a project like this, be sure not to put the texture paste where the project interlocks. Like this is 2 pieces and it has to slide in together. Be sure not to put texture paste in those areas. Okay, so there we go. Enjoy the tutorial, and thank you so much for stopping by today. Bye bye. So did I tell you I broke it? Oh, how devastating. When I was sliding the 2 pieces, how they interlock like that, it snapped in 3 places. I couldn't believe it. I was devastated. I have put it back together as best I can, and I'm still working on it. But I have gone ahead. Anyway, let me show you. It broke in the middle here. Like this part here completely broke away from this part here. One of these, see these kind of thinner ones here. I'm not sure which one it was because I have glued it back together. It was one of these 2. Could have been this one. It's one with a funny kink in it now. It might be that one then. That broke, and the whole top of this just crumbled. I have glued it together with a strong glue, and on either side I've found a round metal piece to secure it. I've also wired these acrylic flowers so that they go through the base piece and through this part here, and then through the hole. So hopefully that will work to hold it. It feels fairly strong, so I'm confident that it will work. Now I have put all the chandelier pieces on the bottom here. Now that was a job. They're not that easy to get in this wood because they're not jump rings, they're actually split rings. So it was a little bit tricky to get on, but I have managed to do that. And I've put the oval chandelier pieces on each end, and then in the center I've put the lovely what shape? Diamond shape, I guess, chandelier pieces with 3 of the small pieces, and that's on the center. And the way I attached that was I got a piece of that rat tail ribbon and just glued it there and across diagonally on the other side. I have bound the 2 pieces, wood pieces, together in 2 places, there and there, and that's because it broke. So I need as much stability as I can get, and hopefully that will be covered when I decorate it. What I forgot to do was glitter the little candles on it. So now I've got all these crystals on it, and I'm having to put glitter on these candle things, which is a little bit awkward. So I'm going to do what I thought I would do was, I've got some silver paint here, and I haven't tried it, so I'm just going to, oops, that's a bit much. I'm just going to see how the color is. To put that underneath, let that dry, and then I have some antique silver Kindy Glitz here, and I thought I would put that over the top. Let's just see, like, if that's, because I don't want to go to all the trouble of doing it all and then it doesn't look any good. So it should look all right. I mean, that's not dry, but. And then I also have some fine silver glitter as well. It should look all right. I have to wait for that to dry though. I also have some, fine glitter. So if I miss any spots, I can always do that. But it's going to be quite a long process, I think, because I'm going to have to put something under this to hold it in place while I do it, and it's going to be very messy, I can see. So if you're doing a chandelier, be sure to do the candles before putting it together, and when you're putting it together, be very, very careful, because it wasn't as strong as I thought it would be. I'm not sure whether I put too much pressure on it, or like it was sliding in fine and then all of a sudden it just snapped. So with the, see, I have the chandelier rope that I'm going to be hanging it by, and I've put one of these rings to hang it on a hook, but I've actually repinned these chandelier crystals here just to make it stronger. Rather than having it with the split pins, which I've left down the bottom here, because this is going to be holding all this weight, I wanted this to be a little bit stronger. So I'm going to show you how I repinned these chandelier crystals, and they're done in the traditional old vintage style way. I have some old chandelier pieces, and they're actually done a different way. They've got like a C hook holding those ones together. But I also have some other ones, and these ones are done in the same way as I've done this, with the little head pins and curled. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm also going to go ahead and paint my candles, let that dry, and then glitter them. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly show you how I repinned the chandelier crystals. The crystals from Beebee Craft come with a split ring holding them together, which works perfectly well. But as I said, I needed extra strength to hold the chandelier up, so I am going to show you how to do a traditional chandelier pinning method. And it really is quite easy. These are the head pins that I received from Beebee Craft. They are 5 centimeters long, and they're 2 inches. So I'm taking a couple of centimeters off, probably 3/4 of an inch. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is put my head pin through one of the holes on the crystal, like that, and then bend it at a right angle straight up. So you've got that. You've got your pin going through and then bent at a right angle up like that. And get your jewelry making tool. Grip it halfway down the actual pliers, and then this is the way we are, and we're going to turn that way. So we're going to go like that, okay? And then we're going to move the pliers around a bit and turn again and again and again. And we're going to do that all the way till we get to the crystal. Once we get to the crystal like that, you'll notice that it sits behind the crystal. So we're going to just maneuver it so it sits on top of the crystal like that. So now it is on top of the crystal. So that's one. Now we're going to do the other crystal, and we're going to do it very much in the same way. We're going to put our head pin in. We're going to bend it up on a right angle like that. We're going to start turning it, but we're not going to turn it all the way around. We're going to leave a little gap like that. And then we're going to get our other crystal, thread it through, put our pliers back in. Make sure you put them in about halfway down again, otherwise your little loop will get too small, and continue turning it. Now this one you need to keep that other crystal out of the way as much as you can, and just keep doing that. That's my son in the background. It's alright, he's playing a game. And taking it all the way down, and then once again, when we get to the top, we're going to maneuver it to the top of the crystal. Once you've done that, you will notice that one crystal is facing one way and one is facing the other way. And in order for your crystals to all lie the same way, you're going to get your pliers around one of the loops. I'm going for the bottom one, and you're just going to turn it like that. So now the loops are facing opposite directions, but your crystals will lay flat like that. And that's how you repin a crystal for the chandelier. And all you do is you just continue on like that. That one goes up, of course you trim it, and then the next one, and you just do the same thing all along, and it gives you a really, really strong chandelier chain. So I decided to go with something just a little bit different. I've decided to use this foil, Go Press and foil, and this is in the silver, I think it is, just called silver. Mirror finish, silver foil mirror finish. And what I've done is the candle parts I've painted with the acrylic silver metallic paint. Oops, wrong one. And can you see? I've painted them, and at first I painted them straight across and I didn't like it. So then I've gone up with a little bit of white, and I'll touch that up afterwards. But what I'm going to do, I hope you can see it on this one here, is I've got a little bit of tacky glue, and all I've got is a paintbrush, and I'm just going to paint that up on either side like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm getting my foil and I'm putting that over the top, just rubbing that on gently. And then I'm just going to pull that off, and I must have missed a little bit there with the glue in the center. I'll just put a bit more glue there, and I'll go back and put the foil in that little spot. And that's how I've decided I will do it, rather than mess with too much glitter, things like that. I love the vintage look it gets, and I'm just going around and doing that on all of the candle pieces. Now, I actually saw that on a British amateur decorating show. A lady was foiling a wall and she wanted it to look vintage. So she was putting glue on the wall and using sheets of foil. The effect it gave was very vintage. And so I thought I would try it on here rather than having too much glitter around, and it's working quite nicely. So I will finish doing that now. What I've decided to do now they're all finished is put some of the antique silver glitter glue. It's Kinder Glitz actually. And I'm just patting it over a little bit of the silver, not to completely cover it, but mainly just to add a little tiny bit of interest and texture to it. Hopefully that will, once it dries. And it's just so it catches the light just a little bit more and sparkles. And I did it around the edges as well. I did try it with the normal silver, and I like the little darker flecks a bit more. So I will, I think I'm almost finished now, this part. I will continue going around that. Alright, so that glitter has dried, and what I am doing now is I was sent a really pretty jeweled trim from Michelle a little while ago, and that's what the trim looks like. And what I thought I would do, I took it apart a little bit, and I have used it, I just need to pick this up carefully, at the base of the flames. So I'm putting a large piece on the end and then a single piece just at the base of where the flame would be to catch the light. And I really like the way that that looks, and I think that will work well. So there's no straight line across. So I'm just going ahead and attaching all those now. And what I'm doing, I'm using craft glue. You can use any strong glue. Like, these are not heavy pieces, so I'm not worried about, you know, it adding too much weight. And I'm not, you know, the glue should do fine holding those on. So I'm going to go and stick those all the way around, and then I'm going to start doing some decorating on the chandelier itself. Okay, I've set the camera up on a different angle in the hopes that you will be able to see what I'm doing as I'm doing it. I've just got these little paper flowers here. I think they had brown centers in them. So what I've done is just put some glue and some glitter in the center. I'm going to try and use some of the lovely beautiful jewel buttons from Beebee Craft as well. If you hear somebody in the background, that's just my son. They're on school holidays again, so he's playing his games. I've also found some little fabric flowers that I have tea dyed just to soften them a little bit and they're not bright white. I have some embroidery on glaze flowers that I have made quite a while ago, and a couple of little lace ones as well that I may use. I also have little satin flowers here, and there's another one like that one as well. What else do I have? Oh, I have some of the little jewels left from the trim that I used for the flames, so I may use some of those. And also, oh, I may use some of this beaded garland. It's actually in smaller pieces, and I think Louisa sent me this. It's in smaller pieces, so I may use that as well. We'll just see how I go. Hopefully I get something done. I am using a glue gun, the hot glue gun for this. I'm a little bit out of practice, but the first thing I want to do is kind of put some hot glue down in the center just to secure it, because like I said, it did break. So if I can put some in the center on this side here, I think, and just to secure it a little bit, mainly probably where I'm going to be putting some flowers so that I know it's going to be covered up. So that, because it's going to be covered up there, I just need to make sure it's straight when it dries. Okay, I'll just hold that for a few moments until that dries, and then I can do the other side. Because this one, although I've fixed it, it is still a bit wobbly. We'll put some on this side now. Just down in there. And that looks fairly straight now. Is that the one that I needed to straighten? Yes, I think it is. Yeah. What's that? Oh. Let's just move that out of the way. Okay. So it seems to have gripped now, which is nice. Trying to decide, I think this will be. Now a couple of the chandelier things have come undone, but once I'm finished then I'll rehook them up. Okay, I think that will be the front there. Yeah. Okay. Okay. These acrylic flowers on the top, I'm not sure whether you can see actually, these ones here on the top. They were from Roseanne some time ago. So thank you for that, Roseanne. Okay, so now I've just got to decide where I'm going to be decorating. I'll try and work so you can see, but I've got to see as well. So I have something. I have an egg here. It's just a foam egg, and I tend to use it for putting under things, because it can be squished a little bit. Okay, I have no idea where to start, so let's start with a couple of sprays, and we'll just cut them back, but not all the way back, because you don't want them coming undone or anything. And these particular sprays, they were just, I don't know where I originally got them, probably from the op shop. So we'll just have to start, don't we? That's always the hardest part. Okay, so I don't have many little bits left that I pulled out for it, so I've just had a little look around and I've found a couple more flowers here. I found a few of these little paper ones and a couple of these. They're paper as well. They're just a really thick, almost handmade looking feeling paper. What else have I found here? That one's a bit yellow. Two lovely vintage looking fabric roses. A couple more paper flowers here as well. With some of these, I think I'm going to ink them up a little bit so there's a bit of variation in the colour. So, but I'm going to keep looking and see what else I can find. So I've also got a couple of flowers there that Roseanne sent me a while ago as well that I'll use. And also I think I might cut some of these little flowers out and use a couple of those as well. Do I have any? Oh. No, I don't use that. Alright, we'll see how that goes. I've also knotted up a bit of tulle, which is from Beebee Craft also, and I might just tuck those in, you know, every so often as well. So I will get going on those things now and see how we go. So I'm calling that complete, and now all I have to do is hang it up. So let's have a look, shall we? And looks like Miss Molly is having a look as well, and that's the finished result. And I will just gently spin it around so you can see every angle. And if you have any suggestions whether I should put something here to finish the top off or not, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love a few ideas. I'm not quite sure what to do, whether to leave it as it is or to, you know, put something on the top there as well. So any suggestions would be welcome. So thank you so much for joining me. Bye bye.